Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Athletics and Wellness Center on the campus of Earlham College as we bring you Earlham women's basketball this afternoon. The Quakers hosting the Spartans of Manchester. Earlham coming into this one here today after a tough loss their last time out against Bluffton by 10 in conference play at Bluffton. The Quakers again come in at 2-4 overall, 1-1 in the HCAC. The Manchester Spartans playing just their second conference game. They are 2-4 on the season, 0-1 in conference play. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. Troy Darengowski along with Gerard O'Byrne. We are looking for something a little bit different today. The last time we were here, the Quakers beat St. Mary of the Woods at 102-64 in a game that featured, I think it ended up being over 50 turnovers combined with both teams, and the Quakers ended up with 65 rebounds in that game. It was helter-skelter throughout the entire day. I think the game will be a little bit different today here, Gerard, against a Manchester team that desperately wants to get that second win in the conference.
Well, it comes down to better competition, and there's no disrespect to St. Mary's. When we talked about when they played, it wasn't that style of play that Earlham was facing wasn't going to really help them for conference play, and the results from the past two games have shown St. Mary's, you drop over 100 points, then Bluffton, you barely score 50. So I just think that style of play that they faced against St. Mary's really didn't help them prepare for the type of competition they're facing in the conference today. And so against Manchester, both teams need a big win today. So I expect a very competitive ball game today.
Tell you what we'll do when we come back here on the Farm Bureau Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. We'll talk about the Spartans, a team. They don't put up a ton of points. The one thing they will do, they will defend. We'll talk about their personnel in just a little bit right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you're born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
We check them better. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle is fully inspected and reconditioned by ASE and factory-trained technicians. And each Better Buy vehicle comes with a Carfax vehicle history report, so you know you can buy a vehicle with confidence. We back 'em better with a 3-day satisfaction guarantee. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified comes with a 3-day or 300-mile satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it within that 3 days or 300 miles, just bring it back and we'll exchange it for a vehicle of equal value. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. We price them better. We have dedicated individuals searching the entire country for the highest quality, lowest price vehicles for our inventory. In today's competitive market, we're constantly monitoring vehicle values to ensure that we're offering the best prices possible. We guarantee that every Wetzel Better Buy vehicle is the highest quality used car or truck around. Our reconditioning process guarantees that you are getting a vehicle as close to brand new as possible, and our warranties back that up.
Back here once again at the Athletics and Wellness Center. Today's game being brought to you in part by Best Western Classic of Richmond. When you're visiting the Richmond area and you're looking for a place to stay at the Best Western Classic. You'll get the most amenities available, including indoor pool, fitness center, conference space, free buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, a clean, quiet, comfortable room. Best Western Classic of Richmond, 533 West Eaton Pike. You know, Manchester, you look at their numbers, they only score 57, almost 55 points per game, They give up just 54, so they kind of keep this game in the low 50s. Those are the games they're more comfortable with. They don't shoot real well at 32%. Their outside shooting from three is about 27%. They don't even shoot the free throw very well at 59%, but they do rebound. So they're going to try to make you slow the game down here today. And One thing the Quakers might have an advantage here this afternoon if the Quakers don't turn the ball over is a Manchester team that turns it over 17 times per game. So you're going to talk about contrast in two different styles, much different than what we saw against St. Mary of the Woods.
Well, we've seen that a problem with Earlham throughout the season is turning the ball over. And in their last game, they improved that big time with only 13 turnovers. And that's going to be a big key in today's game. I'm interested to see how Earlham comes out because it's kind of – they're both opposite of each other. Earlham likes to speed the game up, likes to press full court, and Manchester likes to slow it down. So I'm interested to see how Earlham comes out and responds to the slow-paced game, especially after St. Mary's where it was fast. But they should kind of be used to it because it seemed like Bluffton slowed the game down as well because Earlham only put up a little bit more than 50 points in that game.
Yeah, that's very true. By the way, Faith Alexis Graham leading Manchester and scoring at 9.7 points per game. Mason Miller, 8.5 and 6 rebounds. Nicole Weaver at 8.2. Beth Schaefer is averaging 7 rebounds per game, and Haley Ferris at 4.8 rebounds per contest. You get, a really good idea right there. They're not going to score a ton of points. These two teams split last year in a 7-18 campaign for Manchester, in which the Spartans won the first game 64-58. In the second game, as the Quakers were making their run toward a playoff berth, they beat Manchester 73-47. Zoe ended up with 19 points in that ball game to lead the way for Earlham. Now this year, right at this point, Kayla Bowling leading the Quakers in scoring at 11.5 points per game. Zoe's averaging 5.7 rebounds per game. And then, of course, Cameron White also averaging at 12.7 points per game coming into this one here today. All right, when we come back in just a couple of moments here on the pregame show brought to you by Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear, we'll get the starting lineups coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com. We're back again here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. Let's go and get the starters. We'll do that in just a couple of moments. They're brought to you tonight by Jason Wise at Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. He has an idea for an alternative fundraiser for your school group or nonprofit. If you list, buy, or refer a customer and mention this promotion, he'll donate 10% of what he makes on that transaction to the school group or nonprofit of your choice in your name. Tell your friends, family, colleagues to mention this offer when listing with Jason Wise at Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. Give him a call at 969-3400. Let's go and go to the starters now.
So for Manchester, starting with the 5'6" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, Faith Alexis Graham, number 4. And then a 5'3" junior out of Sharpsville, Indiana, number 10, Haley Ferris. A 5'3" freshman out of Carmel, Indiana, Bridget Nash. A 5'9" senior out of Fort Wayne, number 20, Beth Schaefer. And a 5'10" freshman out of Huntertown, Indiana, number 25, Macy Miller. And then we look at the starters for the Earlham Quakers. A 5'6" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky, number 10, Cameron White. A 5'5" sophomore out of Osgood, Indiana, number 12, Kayla Bowling. A 5'6" junior out of Plainfield, Indiana, number 15, Kendall Spears. A 5'5" sophomore out of Sacramento, California, number 30, Acacia Tennette. And to round out the starting five, a 5'10" junior out of Newcastle, Indiana, number 43, Zoe Curtis.
All right, there you have the starters. We'll come back, get this one underway here at the Athletics and Wellness Center right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information. Big Boy's Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boy's Pizza. 765-488-0023.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
At Harrington Hogue, we believe your life belongs to you. That's why we work hard to make sure that your insurance coverage is the last thing you have to worry about. So when it comes to keeping you protected,
We got this.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Georgia Direct is your one-stop source for floor coverings and decorating ideas for remodeling a home, office, kitchen, or bathroom. Their showroom offers quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Armstrong, Craft-Made, and many more. They proudly offer Richmond the best quality and variety of home design solutions at competitive prices. At Georgia Direct, their goal is to deliver an outstanding customer experience from selection through installation. Georgia Direct Carpets and Cabinets, 5200 National Road East, Richmond.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we play. At West End Bank, we're not just in the community, we're a part of the community. And that's why we support over 100 programs for local nonprofits and schools, including our financial literacy program that positively impacts countless students throughout the area. You bank locally, so we give back locally to watch people grow with endless possibilities.
We're back here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. Great to have you with us. Doubleheader action here today. The men will follow this contest up. I'd say that game will probably tip off at around 4:15 in that area. So, again, both games right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Quick update of the HCAC standings coming into today's women's action. Transylvania and Rose-Hulman both at 2-0. Mount St. Joe, Hanover, Earlham, Franklin, and Bluffton, they're all 1-1. Manchester and Defiance at 0-1, and Anderson is at 0-2 coming into today's action. You know, we talk about these games, Gerard, early, and we say, well, it's early in the season. You don't really worry too much about maybe a loss, but anytime you start thinking that way, you get to the end of the year and you go, hey, wait a minute, if we would have just taken care of business at the beginning of the year when we had a home game, we would be in a position to win perhaps an opportunity to get into the conference championship round. So these games, you can't take them lightly. You're supposed to win games at home in the conference if you're planning on getting into the championship round later.
Well, I think when it comes to conference, there is no early games that we can obviously we can bounce back from a loss, but in conference every game is important because every game matters in standings with the conference tournament, whether you make the conference tournament or not. And so when it comes to conference, we can't be too upset about this game because we should have won, we're at home and stuff like that. Every game is important. You have to take care of business at home, on the road. And so when you're at home, you have to defend home court if you want to have a shot to get to the conference tournament.
Yeah, because you want to be fighting for your life at the end of the year, that's for sure. And that's what the Quakers did last year. They kept having to fight their way to get into the championship round. So we're ready to go again. 10-minute quarters in women's college basketball. After 5 fouls, we will shoot a double bonus. So that's kind of the way things have changed in women's college basketball. So the Spartans will have it first. As we mentioned, they'll play a lot of half-court basketball, and we've got a travel already. So an early turnover again for the Spartans. Live stats as we go, if you choose to do so, at GoEarlham.com. They will have all the statistics and much more right there, plus all the story schedules and much more. Again, GoEarlham.com. Here is Zoe Curtis with a left hand. Can't get that one to fall. Manchester gets the basketball for the second time here tonight. We'll always talk about the start of especially in women's college basketball now, the start of a half and the beginning of a half. You really want to get off to a good start. There's a nice drive, layup good. Manchester gets on the board. First 2 points of the ball game put on the board. That is Faith Alexis Graham out of Indianapolis. And Manchester on top 2-0. Quakers are going to have to get used to maybe doing a little bit more in the half court. As we saw Manchester again, they're going to play very good defense, only giving up 54 points per game. So it gives you a good idea that they are not easy to score against, especially in the half court. Quakers always trying to apply pressure to the basketball, and that's exactly what they did there again. Trying to post up underneath. That pass will go out of bounds eventually, so it will be Quaker basketball. Another turnover committed by Manchester. They have 2 turnovers now here in the first, less than 2 minutes of play.
I think Earlham needs to stop forcing passes. They're trying to set up Zoe in the inside, but are doing bad passes when they just need to make one simple pass. And just like that, perfect example, you pass it to the corner, you get Zoe on the post up, and she gets the bucket.
She had, as we said, in that one game last year, 19 points. So they love to get inside against Manchester, and they did it, as you said a little bit ago, with Zoe scoring the first 2 points of the ball game for the Quakers. 18 on the shot clock as that ball stripped out of bounds.
And I think we see, because the first possession they had a turnover, but they're trying to go into Zoe. So Earlham has come out and established that they are trying to feed Zoe and take advantage of her size in the paint.
The official calling a timeout with 8:05 remaining now here in the opening period of play. I'm not sure if we are talking about, we are the shot clock, and they put it at 16. I'm always curious if the shot clock is because of a technical issue or the guy who's running the shot clock is watching the game too much.
It could be either one.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably getting caught up in the action and figures, hey, this is pretty neat. Now, I'm not sure why. Again, I'm going to say this because 3 seconds went off the clock, and I'm not sure that was 3 seconds of action.
Sometimes, yeah, they're late to push the buttons.
He might have been quick on that one. Manchester back in the half court, and we've got another whistle and stoppage of play. So Zoe picks up the foul, and Quakers don't have a ton of size. If there's a player they want to make sure they keep her in the ball game, it's Zoe.
Well, we've seen in previous games when she does get in foul trouble how the offense changes when she's on the bench, when she's on the court.
Shot from the left wing goes out of bounds. It will stay here. A fresh 30 again for Manchester. 7:49 to go here in the opening period of play. Neither team able to score a bunch early. There is Zoe with the steal, and Curtis at the other end will score, and she's fouled. Zoe able to show some open court dribbling on her way to the basket. Foul's going to be called on number 25, which is Macy Miller. She's out of Huntertown, Indiana, played at Carroll High School. And Zoe at the free throw line misses it. It'll be Manchester basketball.
It's always a nice touch when your big man can take a steal and dribble it full court and get a layup, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're probably looking behind to see who's coming. They don't have the luxury of that video board the guys in the NFL do when they're looking up and seeing who's coming. We've got a jump ball called. And Cameron White mixing it up underneath against Bridget Nash. And the possession arrow in favor of the Quakers. And we'll see a change now for Manchester as Miranda Biegler is checked in out of Plainfield, Indiana. She played at South Putnam High School. So Quaker basketball with a 2-point lead here in the first period.
That's it. Good job.
Quakers able to set that high screen as they work it around the perimeter. Tanette with the basketball now for Earlham. 15 on the shot clock. Earlham really doing a nice job moving the basketball and the three-pointer by Bowling.
Now that was a great offensive possession. A good 6 or 7 passes. They wanted to go inside, but Manchester was really overplaying the inside, which allowed the outside shot to be open. And as we see, Bowling knock down the 3.
Manchester back in the half court. Spartans, 15-footer on the way, is off the mark. Ball loose. Manchester gets a fresh 30 in the shot clock. Three-pointer on the way. That's going to be missed by Faith Alexis Graham. And again, they don't shoot the basketball well from the outside. That's why they really concentrate so much on getting the ball in the low post. Their first shot was missed by Macy Miller. There's Zoe underneath.
Earlham is doing such a great job moving the ball around and getting to the spots that they want to get to and making great, crisp passes.
Quakers chasing again, looking for a quick steal. Manchester able to survive and get back into the half court, and we've got a whistle and a foul. This will be team foul number what here as we look at a 9-2 lead. They got number 30, I believe. That is going to be Acacia Tanette picking up her first. And again, the second team foul. Quakers make some changes. We'll get to those in a moment. On the left-hand shot, that's going to be missed by Biegler. And we have another whistle and a foul. So the foul will go against Biegler once again. Quakers get it back at a 7-point lead here early. Mentioned in the lineup for the Quakers, Michaela McFarland, the senior from Centerville, is now checked in. Quakers have 18 on the shot clock. Zoe fakes the handoff, drives and scores. Well, they don't have an answer of her yet.
And if I'm Earlham, we're going to her every possession that we can, as long as she doesn't force shots up, because now Manchester is going to collapse on her inside the paint, which is going to allow the perimeter shots to be wide open.
They're going to, in other words, you're telling me the Quakers are going to play to the point where, if they can, Zoe Curtis at the end of the game will be at the point of exhaustion, right?
Yes.
Zoe will feel like taking the rest of the weekend off. She'll be so busy. Into the ball game for the Quakers, we'll see Rosie Newhart come in. Newhart, 5'8", out of Osgood, Indiana, played at Jack Sendell High School. Very good high school basketball program. That ball goes out of bounds. I'll tell you what, and that was Haley Ferris trying to find some room underneath, and they just cannot find anything in that paint that feels comfortable to them.
I think Earlham really did a good job on the scouting report. On the defense, looks like they know they're not very good shooters, so they're collapsing inside a lot more and willing to live and die by Manchester shooting.
Ball goes out of bounds again. It'll be touched by the Quakers. So it'll be 19 on the shot clock for the Spartans, and on the inbound, it goes out of bounds on the opposite side, and another turnover by Manchester. That's going to be their 4th turnover of the afternoon. So the Quakers will get it back still now with a 9-point lead, and Manchester really struggling early, shooting just 11%. They are 1 of 11 here in the first 5 minutes of this ball game. Maddie Meinhardt will come in. She's out of Auburn, Indiana, played at Eastside High School. She is a senior as they tried, speaking of the Spartans, trying to get something going on offense.
Well, in order to get something on offense, it all starts with the defensive end.
Bowling on the running shot, missed it, but a foul call on the rebound. Tedette coming back in now for the Quakers, but not until we get a timeout. This, by the way, is for us. They call this the media timeout, so we can get a drink and get refreshed on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers up 11-2. This is Earlham Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Are you looking for the right place to work out? A place where you have several choices and can have fun at the same time? Well, that place is right here in Richmond. Family Fitness Works. Family Fitness Works has spinning, Zumba, kickboxing, core works, kick fit, body pump, body flow, and much, much more. And don't forget, Family Fitness Works also has Richmond's most extensive free weights and Nautilus in the area. Check out their website at familyfitness.com or stop by at 213 North 3rd Street in Richmond.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
Well, it's all Earlham so far here early in this one as we're here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. Quakers off the inbound. Cameron driving nothing, and we'll bring it back and set it up for the Quakers in the half court. 19 on the shot clock. Here's Newhart. Right hand missing it, and the rebound pulled down by Alexis Graham. Quakers still continue to try to attack inside.
So far, it's been working. Five of their made baskets, 4 of them have come inside the paint and 1 3-pointer. So I would keep trying to attack down low as well.
Yeah, Manchester doesn't have a whole lot of size themselves. Neither team's overly blessed with size, and we've got a whistle. And that's going to be a 3-second violation against Manchester. So they are off to a very cold start in the shooting department, and they also have 5 turnovers here in the opening quarter. Quaker basketball once again. Here's a 3 on the way, good. And another timeout on the floor, this time as Kendall Spears hits the 3, and a 30-second timeout called for Manchester as they want to talk about this one for just a couple of moments. We'll keep it right here for this timeout. Quakers, after tonight, they will travel to Center coming up on Tuesday. That'll be a 6:30 start time. We'll be back here next weekend as Mount St. Joe will be in town. That's another doubleheader weekend for both the men and the women, as Mount St. Joe will step in, one of the better teams in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and of course we'll have it for you right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Well, a 14-2 lead. Manchester only really benefited a little bit from that media timeout, but they needed another timeout, and guess what? You call a timeout and they turn it over.
I know the coach of Manchester has got to be steaming right now.
Well, I tell you what, there was times when I was coaching, you'd call up a play, and when they got out there and they set it up, you kind of asked them, now, was that what we talked about in the timeout? Because I can't remember. That's what we said. There's an armbar foul. And a Manchester fan downstairs hated that call. He's probably Macy Miller's dad, be my guess, because he was very adamant. Well, but you know, we talked about it before in college basketball. They no longer want you to do the arm bar. Got to keep your hands off, move feet, and that's why you see more fouls that you do, and especially teams that want to play more physical, maybe like a Manchester.
And I think you said it right. Can't really do the arm bar. Today's game is just designed for offense. It's really hard to be a really good defender.
Yeah, people want to see offense, and you see it in the NBA, college basketball, and even in the NFL. Here's Newhart down low, turns and hits it. I don't know about you, but I love both ends, but I like good defense too.
Oh, yeah, that's why the best defensive players in times are the ones that get like great contracts. If you can play offense and if you can play defense, you will always have a spot.
And what do we have here? Is that a 10-second call? I believe it is. So Manchester with their 7th turnover, they are guilty of the 10-second call violation, and so here's another change for the Quakers. Bowling coming in. McFarland will sit down. And coming in for Manchester will be Hillary Shepard, played at Shenandoah High School. Boy, 2 points only here so far for Manchester.
And I also give credit to Earlham. I think on offense, this is like the most execution we've seen them do this season. Whatever shot Earlham has wanted to get, they have gotten it, and they're doing a really good job of constantly getting the ball down to the paint.
Well, really, you look at that is, I think, only the second turnover for the Quakers, and sometimes, again, they get a little ahead of themselves. If they just pass and look, you've seen what they've been able to do and not try to get in too much of a hurry like they did on that possession. But luckily, they'll keep the basketball with 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Coming into the ball game will be Carly Skinner, played at Cowan High School up in the Muncie area. Tanette off the inbound, quick release, and the shot's going to be missed by Spears. So the Quakers try to get a quick one off the inbound. Manchester continues to struggle on offense. See if they can put something together right here. They're trying to get it inside, but Zoe Curtis fronting the post player. Meinhardt, who's down low. That one off the glass, missed. Manchester gets a fresh 30. Spartans, they're trying to go underneath. Good down double team. Three-pointer in the way, no. Bridget Nash can't get that one to fall. Quakers have Zoe running the floor, and she missed the layup.
On that one, you just catch the ball, gather yourself real quick, and go right up.
Yeah, I think she got lost. I didn't think she knew really where she was on the floor, but sometimes the bigs do that when they're not sure running the floor that way. And we've got a whistle and a foul as Meinhardt will go to the line. Meinhardt listed at 6 foot, so they do have a little bit of size in there now for the Spartans. Manchester doing a great job recruiting around the state of Indiana. In fact, just about every one of their players is out of Indiana except for one, and that's one player out of the state of Ohio. McFarland back in, also coming back in for Manchester will be their leading scorer, Alexis Graham.
That free throw by Manchester just ended a 7-minute and 6-second scoring drought.
Those are tough to win by. Second free throw. Got a nice roll. Quakers still holding on to a 12-point lead. As we mentioned, live stats on GoEarlham.com as McFarland on the drive inside to Zoe. One step, gets it blocked, gets it back. 17 on the shot clock. Here's Spears for three. No. Quakers able to keep it alive in that possession to get another shot. Alexis Graham, the dump down. Turnaround shot on the way, good. Getting the bucket, Shepard. Earlham wasting no time as Cameron throws that one up off the glass. Now, the one thing I don't like about that possession, you were doing good. We talked about it earlier. Good passing, good spacing, and then you go down one and done.
Now, the first, before that possession, Earlham did a great job of constantly playing their game. On that one, I think White got caught up in the fast pace of the game right there, and you said it right. You do a very good job the whole game of 6 to 7 passes per possession. You're getting great shots. Those are the type of possessions you don't want if you're Earlham.
Well, and it also shows that if Earlham can continue to do that, they can play in the half-court set. Well, I know they want to get up and down the floor and get easy points, but sometimes you're going to have to play that half-court game, and they've proven that they can do that as we'll go to the free throw line.
And for today, that is what's working against this Manchester defense. So don't go away from what's got you a 10-point lead so far.
We are down to just over a minute remaining here in the first quarter of play, and there is Zoe Curtis out of Newcastle. By the way, when she was at Newcastle, if you know anything about Trojans women's basketball at Newcastle, they love to run and gun, and Zoe wasn't much in the offense there. They don't use the bigs very much. They love to just shoot the three, and she has come here and flourished in this offense because she's able to get the basketball more.
Well, Earlham hasn't had a problem using her.
No, they love her game, and she's really, again, blossomed into an offensive force for the Quakers. Down to a minute remaining. Quakers back up by 12. 13 on the shot clock now for the Spartans. They're trying to work it inside to Shepard. Here's a three-point shot on the way. Good. That's a rarity today, and the basket made by Faith Alexis Graham. Quakers wasting no time getting it the other way, and the basket good. Bowling puts 2 on the board. Chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Now that's a different kind of quick bucket than we saw a few minutes ago. Bowling got the ball and realized nobody was in front of her, and so that's the time you can take it to the basket and try to get a quick shot.
Quakers will bring in Newhart once again. Zoe will get a chance to sit down. By the way, Zoe with 10 points in 7 minutes of action. And the free throw's on the way and good. Quakers make another change as we will see Kyra Joseph come in out of Covenant Christian in Indianapolis. And that'll give Cameron White a chance to take a breather. Though Gerard wants them to play again to the point of exhaustion, as we said a little bit ago.
Well, the half-court style actually gives them quite a bit of a breather.
Yeah, it does.
Compared to what they're used to.
Manchester, by there is still about a 2-second difference as there's a whistle and a foul. 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Foul's going to be on Bowling. And that will put Faith Alexis Graham out of North Central High School in Indianapolis. They're one of the top teams in the state of Indiana. Their head coach was the former head coach at Richmond High School for several years. Second free throw is good, and the Quakers have a chance here to play for the final shot of the opening period of play. Joseph setting the high screen for Bowling. Looking for Newhart. And a whistle and a turnover by the Quakers. So the Quakers unable to execute that play. So Manchester has 3 seconds right here. And they will not get a shot off, and that's going to end the opening period of play. On the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard after 1, it is Earlham 21, Manchester 10. This is Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf and I approve this message.
You know, we were watching the floor sweepers a little bit ago. We're going to start taking a vote on who does a better job in between timeouts. Gerard's going to have play-by-play here in quarter number 2. Who do you think did better that time, though? Was it the guy on the right or guy on the left?
I think the right side did a lot better.
Yeah, I think he was more thorough. Something about those baseball players, you know, they're thorough, but he only did a little swath. The other guy did the whole floor.
I think there was a lot more action on the Earlham side than there was
Manchester.
That's
right. Well, you know, that might be, it's like football where they end up perhaps grooming one side of the field more than the other in baseball where they cut the grass a little bit shorter. Mm-hmm. They all do it for the home team. All right, you better get busy here.
Manchester with their half-court offense. looking to go inside. Number 10, Haley Ferris with the layup. And Manchester has the lead under 10 to start the second quarter. Bowling coming off a screen from McFarland. Earlham still looking to go back inside to Zoe Curtis, where she has made money today.
Yep.
Ooh, a bad pass by Spears as McFarland wasn't looking at the ball. Manchester on a rare fast break misses the layup, but big offensive rebound by Alexis Graham. Manchester resets their offense. Think about it. We've seen the first quarter, Earlham just flat out dominated. 3-point shot by number 20, Beth Schaffer, but missed offensive rebound. Travel. She traveled on that one.
Yeah, that's a problem when you switch the pivot feet like that. You know, they hit 2 shots in their last 3 or 4 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
They went from 11% to 25% shooting.
Well, if you think about it, Earlham, as much as they dominated the first quarter, but now Manchester within a single digit. So it's a lot closer than what it looked like within the first quarter. Bowling with the drive, off the bank, foul, and one. Kayla Bowling with the and one bucket. Foul on number 10, Haley Ferris. Bowling will go to the free throw line for 1.
You know, Bowling is really coming to her own as well as not only a guard that can handle the basketball, but now becoming more of a scorer as she was in high school as well.
And the improvements are so obvious. There were times in a few ball games to where it looked like she didn't even want to shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
But she helps this team so much with her scoring. If as a coach, I'm telling her to shoot as much as possible within the flow of the offense.
Well, when you first come into a program, sometimes that's a hard thing to do because you're looking at the upperclassmen, and there's a turnover. You're thinking the upperclassmen don't want you to shoot the ball as much.
But I think Bowling has proven she can help this team with their scoring. Missed layup by Cameron White, but offensive rebound by Zoe
There
Curtis.
you go. Oh.
Another missed layup by Earlham. And those are layups that you just absolutely have to finish.
Yeah, Zoe's too good around the basket to let that one get by. She really didn't take it up through the face, and you're always anticipating maybe a block. But, yeah, you're right. You got to hit those. She's missed a couple of those today.
Mm-hmm. And this defensive possession has been chaotic, but it ends with a steal for Earlham. Fast break by Kendall Spears, and Earlham pulls it out to reset their offense. Zoe with the strong post up. They go right to her. Got too far under the basket, misses the layup. Earlham gets the offensive rebound and resets their offense. And looks unorganized right now. Missed shot by Cameron White to end the shot clock, but another offensive rebound by Earlham. Another opportunity to reset their offense. Looking to go back inside to Zoe Curtis. Bowling with the drive. Looking for contact. And it was called Manchester ball, but the referees are getting together.
You know, one thing, we talked about that last time we were here, it's going to be Earlham basketball, but still, Bowling wants to take it all the way in. What is wrong with that little 10, 12-footer? Just pull-up jumper, mid-range jumper.
Confidence.
But nobody does it anymore. You don't even practice it anymore.
The best shooters can shoot anywhere on the court.
Yeah.
And as we see a foul on number 20, Beth Schaefer for Manchester. Cameron White will go to the free throw line for Earlham. And these Manchester fans are looking a little bit uneasy with these officials.
Well, you know what I always tell them, that's why you play some at home and some on the road. You're not always going to get those calls. And, you know, the one thing about it in the collegiate game, and you know this as well as anybody, when you play college sports, you just got to learn to play through it because complaining isn't going to do you any good. They're not going to change their call just because you're complaining.
You can control what only you can control. Referees, they're going to make bad calls. But if we start focusing more on the referees than our opponent, then we've already lost. Another turnover by Manchester, and that will be their 12th of the game so far.
Yeah, they're starting to build that number up.
12 turnovers for Manchester compared to 3 for Earlham. Earlham with the 14-point lead, 26-12, with just under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Bowling with the drive. Nearly a turnover by Earlham.
You know, a lot of times what you see right there, and I think we even talked about that in the last game, is players throw to the spot instead of throwing to the player. You don't always know that player's going to be there, so you better make sure that player's there first.
You have to throw it where the player is going to be, not where they're standing.
That's right.
With a defender like Alexis Graham, she has really quick speed, and she would pick those passes up all day. Kendall Spears with a three-point shot off the mark. Rebound by Acacia.
Wow.
Just great hustle right there. She out-hustled 3 Manchester defenders.
Well, you're mentioning the Manchester coach being upset before, but if you're him now, you got to be really upset. He's lost all his hair already, but if he had any left, he might be yanking it out.
It might not be able to grow back after
That's
the day.
right. He may need hair club for men, but why would he want it? It'd be a waste of money, be pulling it out more.
Bowling with the 3 off the mark. Another offensive rebound by Tanette. She tries for the putback off the mark. Newhart with the offensive rebound, and we got a stoppage by a ref.
Well, I tell you what, it just comes down to that word you used a little bit ago. It's hustling. If you want that ball bad enough, you're going to dive on the floor for it. They've called that for whatever reason. I'm not sure that's a shot clock violation, but when he tapped himself on the head, but there's 27 seconds left on the shot clock.
That's a bad call right there. On Bowling's three-point shot, it hit the rim, so shot clock should have reset. I don't know what the ref was seeing.
Oh, Tanette just took a shot to the floor right there. That could have been an offensive foul on Nash.
As we see, the intensity of the ball game has picked up in the last couple minutes.
Well, I'll go back to this side. And Earlham didn't take advantage of all the times where they got the rebound. You figure if you kind of spread that out a little bit, you ought to have another 6 points.
If you have an opportunity to get 4 or 5 extra possessions, you got to take advantage of it. But I think we've seen a couple of times as we see a three-point shot by number 13, Bridget Nash for Manchester. We've seen a couple of the last possessions. Earlham has looked like they've been unorganized on the offensive end.
Yeah, they didn't look like anything earlier where they were really crisp passing and finding the open person, but not lately.
I can't even see who's in the corner.
Kind of reminds me like they're playing St. Mary of the Woods all of a sudden again.
Yes. And McFarland with the three-point shot off the mark. She ends up saving it to Cameron White. Another extra possession for Earlham. That was another great hustle by McFarland right there.
I'm trying to see. Now we have to break that down, find the offensive rebounds for the Quakers. They're at 12.
12.
That's a lot of offensive rebounds.
Another one by Earlham. I know Manchester's coach. You know what they're going to be doing next practice.
You know what? Gerard, they might be going to that back gym and doing it during halftime.
And an offensive foul on Earlham.
Yeah, Quakers, and what the Quakers have 18 rebounds. Is that right? And how many have been offensive over here?
13 of
13. Wow. That is amazing. We've got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers on top of this one by 11.
Best One Tire and Service has been committed to our partners since 1948. With more than 250 locations in 26 states, Best One puts over 1 million tires on the road every year. Superior tires, expert service, competitive prices. Best One Tire and Service, where the best costs less.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark with Best One of Richmond. Because Best One is one of Bridgestone's largest retailers, we offer exclusive Bridgestone savings. Visit us in Richmond to save on Bridgestone tires today.
And, it's been kind of a odd second quarter, Gerard, where we saw Earlham again playing extremely well in the first quarter, didn't have a ton of turnovers, and then now that we're into the second quarter, just kind of back to that helter-skelter type basketball we saw against St. Mary's.
They're getting out of what was so successful for them in the first quarter. As you said, Troy, they're going back to that chaotic style of basketball, and we've seen the differences from the first and the second quarter. First quarter, they have over 20 points. Second quarter, they've only had a few buckets, and they've had 4 turnovers in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, and they've scored only, 5?
Yeah, 5 points this quarter.
A total of 9 between the two teams.
And Earlham has to understand that style of basketball is not successful for him. As we see a steal by Cameron White. I think it was a smart decision to pull it out right there. Don't go 1-on-3.
Yeah, and 13 turnovers now by Manchester.
And as a missed layup by Newhart, you see that was a lot better possession right there. They got the shot that they wanted. That you have to rely on Newhart to make those layups. A missed jumper by Manchester, but another offensive rebound. I swear, Troy, I think we've seen more offensive rebounds than defensive today.
Wow, and another missed layup, though.
Acacia Tennette on the fast break for Earlham. McFarland with the wide open three. She will take it, comes off the mark. And it looks like a foul on Cameron White for Earlham.
Yeah, it's a pretty good look by McFarland. She's missed a couple of one was on the three and to the outside to the left, missed one to the top of the key. It's not that she doesn't have a decent look.
And a few substitutions for the Quakers. Spears and Curtis will come back in for Newhart and McFarland. And Earlham will set up their full court press. Number 13, Bridget Nash with the wide open three, but it is no good. Out of bounds on the offensive rebound attempt. Ball goes right back to the Quakers.
By the way, real quick for Manchester from three-point range, only 1 of 6. They're at 17% from the perimeter beyond three.
Earlham is 2 for 8, so not much better, but they're just getting a lot more quality shots in the paint.
Oh.
Yeah, she got away with that. Acacia Tennette at the top. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Bowling will take the three, and it is good. She has such a nice stroke on the outside.
Yeah, she's a hard guard if you don't come out and get her in a good, quick release.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also one that can drive to the basket. You got to respect both sides of that game.
We've seen both of them today. We've seen an and one drive and multiple threes from her. Another steal by Earlham, Zoe Curtis. Cameron White on the fast break. And an offensive foul on Cameron White. Number 44, Maddie Meinhardt draws the charge.
Again, you see the defender there. Pull up, kiss that thing off the glass.
I don't understand why players don't do that. Meinhardt was just sitting there waiting for White to hit her.
Well, I'd be curious, and again, this is no knock against any coach, but I'm curious to know how many coaches teach that anymore and try to go in and get the foul. I understand, but it was clearly the defensive player had the position. You're not going to get by her.
And I think when you watch film, you should be able to identify the spots to where why not pull up for that little 10-footer instead of trying to drive within 3 people. Defensive rebound by Zoe Curtis. Acacia Tennette up to Kendall Spears. She tries the layup, and I want to say it got blocked. But I could not tell with the group of people right there. Good pass by Nash to Ferris, and she will hit the little floater. It's 29-16 with just under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. I don't even think anybody's guarding Kyra right there.
And she was so wide open that she kind of freaked out.
Yeah. Another block shot by Maddie Meinhardt on Zoe Curtis. Just this second quarter has just been, their offense has just been so unorganized.
Yeah.
They've gone back to that St. Mary style.
Yeah, there's not been a pretty second quarter by either team.
That's just another steal by Earlham. Bowling with the steal. Earlham will slow it down. Again, Kyra wide open. Good pass to Zoe. And a foul by Maddie Meinhardt for Manchester as Zoe Curtis will go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
You know, you mentioned, I'm going to go back to the mid-range jumper. What other thing, and I'm not going to, I'll answer it for you, but one other thing that I see players don't do a lot is the shot fake. I mean, really get him in the air because she'd had the defender going way by and lay it up for an easy 2.
Well, we saw that when the men's team played Bluffton. I don't remember the guy's name that had like 30 points against them, but every time he drove, his move was pump fake and up and under.
And how many times did the defender leave their feet?
Every time.
Every time, that's right.
That's something I'll get into when the men start playing against Manchester a little bit later.
Players don't like doing it. They think they look silly, I guess. You know. You don't remember a guy named Dan Issel, do you? You're too young.
I don't remember him, but
you look him up. See, watch his videos. How many times he did? They had his front teeth were knocked out, but he always gave him a head fake.
Manchester with the half-court offense. Layup good by number 12, Miranda Begler. Earlham sets up their half-court offense. Looking to go inside. Zoe's got the hard post up. I thought she was there. Sometimes Zoe likes to leave a little bit early when the ball goes to the corner.
Yeah, she needs, if she'll repost quicker, she might get the basketball right back.
Kyra with the three. Just off the mark, but another offensive rebound by Earlham. Zoe Curtis out hustles Manchester to the corner, and Earlham should have the final shot. Kendall Spears with the three.
Oh. All right, get your feet set.
Yes. She caught it and just threw it without even moving her feet. You have there's still 2 seconds left. You got plenty of time to gather yourself and just let it fly.
You can always tell when a player comes up short. It's either end of the game where their legs are really tired, or you just don't set your feet and get your legs underneath you.
That one was a clear case of not setting the feet. A full court. A near buzzer beater by Nash for Manchester. Halftime, 30-18. Earlham is up 12 at halftime, and 30-18 on the Wesley-based scoreboard and management.
And we're going to come back. Halftime numbers, including all of those offensive rebounds we've seen by the Quakers in the first half.
Finding just the right used car can be a daunting task unless you shop at Tony's Car Sales in Richmond. Hi, this is Troy Naragowski. I can guarantee you one thing. Tony's professional staff will help you every step of the way without all that pressure of buying a new car. Hey, I bought my last 2 cars from Tony's, and it has been a great experience every time. Tony's has lots of one-owner cars, SUVs, and trucks ready for you today. Tony's Car Sales, 250 National Road West in Richmond. Little Sheba's Restaurant and Zini's Place. Come join us in Richmond at 175 Fort Wayne Avenue or at our newest location in Centerville at 129 East Main Street. Grab one of our gourmet pizzas, a deluxe sandwich, steak or fresh salad, and an ice-cold beer or your favorite wine. Featuring live music every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, plus more in our smoke-free environment. 10% discount with a valid student ID. It's better than being home. Mancino's is family-friendly, serving fresh grinders, pizza, pasta, and salads daily. They serve great food priced for family budgets. And whether it's one of their homemade grinders, salads, or pizza, there's sure to be something for everyone in your family. Our baking process may cost a little more and take more time, but the end result of freshness and flavor make the real difference in all of Mancino's award-winning products. Mancino's of Richmond. Give them a call at 966-1161 or go to their website, mancinosofrichmond.com.
At the Reed Orthopedic Center, our physicians and support team devote themselves to helping you return to a healthy and active lifestyle. Our expertise includes shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, wrist, hip, and knee injuries, as well as pain management and rehabilitation, and school athletic training programs and sports medicine. We are committed to providing you with the best possible orthopedic treatment that we can. To request an appointment at the Reed Orthopedic Center, call 765-935-8905.
New Vision Sports is a training program that focuses on the training and improvement of the serious-minded athlete, including all ages and skill levels. From creating customized workout plans to providing ongoing motivation and support, New Vision strives to help you achieve your training goals. Their trainers use a variety of effective workout plans based on your specific goals. New Vision Sports, 977-5831, or go to their website, newvisionsports.com. That's New Vision Sports with a Z.
As an internet service provider, Parallax Systems offers reliable residential high-speed internet service and business service. With a fiber backbone reaching over 150 miles, we have created a multifaceted delivery system. Our dark fiber leasing has proved beneficial to public and private sectors alike. Parallax serves Wayne County and surrounding areas. Parallax Systems, when speed matters, a division of Richmond Power and Light.
greatest thing ever happened for Oscar Robertson. You learn to compete.
Basketball in Indiana has a special legacy. It starts with the coaches, develops with the fans, and ends with an amazing community support.
I think one of these days when you're done and you're retired and you kind of shelve that piece of your life, you can look back and be like, wow, that's really incredible.
To play in a state tournament, to be able to play in college, to be able to coach high school girls, and then to be able to see my son coach, basketball has been my life.
Any opportunity I got to play basketball, I played it. You know, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing, and still today I love the game.
And every time Dad put me in, I think as a freshman, sophomore, there was booing. And then the exciting turnaround when I was a junior and senior, every time he took me out, he got booed. So those were fun times.
Basketball got me an education. Got me to be a worldly person as far as reading articles. Got me to be artistic and understand the cultures of the world, the ballet, the opera. It just opened up your whole mind and thoughts about things other than what you can reach out and touch.
Because I never dreamed of going to college, and basketball gave me the opportunity to not only go to college but play professional ball, and I've been around it my whole life. I'm 58 now, and I've been involved for a lot of years.
Where else can you walk around? I'm a 65-year-old man, and people say, George, oh, I remember you in '69 with your high school state championship team. I saw you at Butler. I mean, it's incredible. This is the only place here in Indiana that happens.
We are back here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. We are at halftime of the women's game, 30-18, as Manchester hanging in there as they are down by 12. Let's go ahead and give you the first half numbers. And boy, Earlham had the early advantage in this one in the shooting department. It had turned out even, both teams shooting at 29%. The Quakers a little bit better, though, in the three-point range, but not much, 27-13. But, boy, you look at this first half, it was just a contrast for Earlham, especially in the first quarter, which you're playing so well. You had 21 points. You only scored 9 in the second quarter. What changed so much, and why do you see a team play so well in that first quarter? And if I'm Manchester, I feel pretty good I'm only down by 12 because Earlham lets you kind of back in this ball game. But why such a difference?
Well, a few points. One, I agree. If I'm Manchester, I feel a little bit better because we're shooting 29%, 1 three-pointer. We've given up 14 offensive rebounds, and we've also turned the ball over 15 times to Earlham 6 times. But what changed for Earlham was they went away what was so successful for them. First quarter, they were averaging 5 to 7 passes per offensive possession, and then they would find their mismatch in the inside with Zoe Curtis, and even Newhart had a few layups down there. But then come second quarter, they completely go away from that and go to that over fast pace that they like to do a lot of times, and they were bad shots, quick shots, but then they had many more turnovers in the first quarter. They have 5 turnovers in the second quarter compared to 1 in the first.
Yeah.
And so we see the difference when they play that fast-paced style that they really want to try playing. They score less, turn the ball over more, but when they slow the ball down and get 5 to 10 passes per possession and get the shot that they want, they are a lot more successful.
And as you said, maybe the biggest glaring part of that first half in the offensive rebounds for the Quakers is they got 14, but you pointed out they only got 4 second chance points off 14 offensive rebounds. That's crazy numbers right there.
Earlham is not taking advantage of opportunities that Manchester is giving them. You have 14 extra possessions and you only get 4 points out of them. That's showing that on your extra possessions, you're doing that same frantic style. You're either rushing up a quick shot or turning the ball over. When you get an extra possession, set it back up unless you have a wide open shot when you get it. But you set your offense back up and go back to what was so successful for you, and that's what they're not doing.
Let's go into the first half numbers. First off for Manchester, they had 5 players score. Graham and Ferris led the Spartans with 6 each. Beegler had 2, Shepard had 2, and Meinhardt had 2. They shot again 7 of 24 overall, 29%. They were only 1 of 8 from three-point range, good enough for 12.5%, 21 rebounds, but they also finished with 15 turnovers in the first half. Quakers had 2 players in double figures, Bowling with 12, Curtis with 11, 2 points by White, Spears with 3, and Newhart with 2. Quakers finished at 29%, 10 of 35. They were 3 of 11 from three-point range, 27%. They finished with 23 rebounds. That's also kind of interesting. Do you think that the Quakers had 23 rebounds and yet Manchester had 21? You only out-rebounded them by 2 in the first half. Quakers turned the ball over 6 times. As Gerard mentioned, 5 of those turnovers coming in the second quarter. So you go into the locker room. Both teams didn't play well in the first half. If you put the entire picture together, not separate the first quarter for the Quakers, what do you tell your teams? Let's start with Manchester first. We said they don't score a lot, 55 points per game. Right now, they're not on the pace to get 55, so they're going to find a way to get some stops and get some extra possessions in the second half.
If I'm Manchester, my biggest adjustment is stopping the paint, points in the paint. Earlham is dominating them with a lot of easy shots in the paint. So if I'm Manchester, I'm sometimes throwing a little trap at Zoe when she catches it, maybe send a double team her way, or sometimes act like I'm gonna go double team her and then bust out back to my man, try to have her throw the ball out. I would make Earlham beat me with jump shooting, because besides Bowling, nobody else is really shooting the ball from the perimeter well. And then if I'm Earlham, the biggest adjustment that I'm having my team make is limit Manchester to 1 possession. So you can't give up no more offensive rebounds, because that's where they've gotten all their points at, is either off a second chance point or a possession to where it was either from an offensive rebound or another turnover. So the biggest adjustment for Earlham is keeping Manchester to 1 possession.
By the way, Quakers only 2 points off their bench today, which is a little bit unusual. They generally are going to get more than 2 in the first half, but the other one, points off turnovers. Quakers 17, Manchester only 2. So Quakers are taking advantage of the turnovers given to them in the first half by Manchester. I want to remind you again, the men's game will follow this game here today, as we will switch gears between these 2 contests. The Earlham men taking on the Spartans of Manchester. And again, we'll probably tip that one off. They say around 4 o'clock. I say 4:15. I'm hoping it's 4. We'd love to get it underway on time here this afternoon. And again, we'll have that game for you coming up a little bit later here today. Today's game being brought to you in part by your Richmond area Subways. Each day of the week, you can get a different 6-inch sub with no artificial flavors or colors, only $3.50. Every Wednesday, the turkey breast, Thursday, the Italian BMT, and Friday, the tuna. Treat yourself at Subway. 4 locations in Richmond and Hagerstown. Subway, eat fresh. We will come back with the second half in just a few moments. Your halftime score on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard: Earlham 30, Manchester 18. This is Earlham Women's Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports. For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. In a small town, a company like theirs cannot stay in business for as long as they have without being very good at what they do. It's not just about quality work, it's about customer service. If that's the kind of experience you want on your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Call Reynolds Plumbing today at 966-0994.
For over a century, Richmond Power & Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, they are advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. Richmond Power & Light provides reliable, low-cost energy and technology services in a customer-focused, environmentally responsible, safety-conscious manner. Richmond Power & Light. Together we make powerful partners.
We check 'em better. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle is fully inspected and reconditioned by ASE and factory trained technicians. And each Better Buy vehicle comes with a Carfax vehicle history report, so you know you can buy a vehicle with confidence. We back 'em better with a 3-day satisfaction guarantee. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified comes with a 3-day or 300-mile satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it within that 3 days or 300 miles, just bring it back and we'll exchange it for a vehicle of equal value. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. We price them better. We have dedicated individuals searching the entire country for the highest quality, lowest price vehicles for our inventory. In today's competitive market, we're constantly monitoring vehicle values to ensure that we're offering the best prices possible. We guarantee that every Wetzel Better Buy vehicle is the highest quality used car or truck around. Our reconditioning process guarantees that you are getting a vehicle as close to brand new as possible, and our warranties back that up.
Well, both teams going through their final instructions as we are about ready to begin the third quarter here this afternoon on our women's contest. There you see the Quakers getting set to return to the floor. Manchester, and they're all black trimmed in gold, heading back out as well. Looks like we have starters going on both sides to begin this third quarter. Quakers will have the basketball to begin period number 3. Again, this game will be followed by the men's game. Doubleheader action here in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Quakers with the basketball first, and bowling will be called for the travel. So not the best way to start the third quarter, especially off a little cross.
Yeah. And it was actually Zoe who traveled first. She got away with it again. But exactly. If you're Earlham, not a great way to start.
So now there's another travel the other way, but Manchester attacking down low. They'll get the basket. 25, Macy Miller.
And if you're Manchester, that's the way you'd like to start off the half.
Return the favor, right? Mm-hmm. Work it back inside. They want to get some easy baskets if they can. Here is Curtis double team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're wide open bowling on the near side, too.
What I'm saying is I see the adjustment Manchester's made. They're now double teaming Zoe when she catches it in the post.
Well, Zoe again in that first half, though, finished at 4 of 10. She missed a couple of easy layups. Yeah. McFarland is in, and boy, a quick sub here as Cameron White will sit down. That's rather unusual to see the Quakers make a change that soon. McFarland getting more playing time, coming back from an injury last year, and as the shot clock runs out, Earlham gets it back. Really should have been a shot clock violation right there. Nobody had clear possession of the basketball.
He said it hit the rim. I didn't see that.
I didn't either. There's Zoe getting the double team, and a turnover again for the Quakers. For Manchester, they'll go back inside. That's a nice move to the baseline, but boy, you got to finish the shot. Schaefer unable to get the ball up above the rim. And some players are so worried about the shot getting blocked, they don't remember just to finish it and go through the normal routine that you would. There's another foul, but I mean, players always thinking that somebody's going to come from behind. You really can't worry about that.
As a basketball player, if you play this game long enough, you're going to get your shot blocked, you're going to get dunked on, you might get crossed up, but that's just a part of the game. It's just like I take football, you get blindsided when you don't want to get blindsided. Baseball, you'll get pegged. by a pitch, when you don't want to get pegged, it happens. You just can't be scared of it.
Yeah, and have that in the back of your mind all the time. It'll certainly, and what it does, it changes your game for sure. And the one thing you don't want to do is get out of your game.
But the reason a lot of players are scared to get blocked is because they feel like their teammates or their friends will tease them about it. And, man.
Well, I tell you one thing for sure. I don't want to get hit by a pitch, and I don't want to get blindsided because it just hurts. Is that good enough? I mean, at my age, the whole body would just completely disintegrate if I get hit too hard.
They're not good feelings, I'll say that.
I don't know how you guys survive some of that at times. Manchester trying to work it back inside again. Yeah, I'll tell you what, and again, I'm not trying to coach from up here, but sometimes I'm always curious why you don't see a player fake high, go low, or fake low and go high and try to throw the ball through hands.
Those pass fakes makes your life so much easier.
Foul call.
Yep, and one.
Well, it does. It makes your life easier, and it'll make it easier to get the ball where you want it to go. But you just don't see enough players doing that a lot of times. And Earlham's going to get a timeout right here. We're going to take a break as well here at the Athletics and Wellness Center on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers lead it by 10.
Summit Computer Systems is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware service, support, design services, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and more. Summit Computers, 1427 Chester Boulevard in Richmond. Give them a call at 939-2120. After the unexpected, expect us. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance of Fayette, Rush, Union, Decatur, and Shelby counties. Auto, home, life, renters, farm, crop, and business coverage. Coverage you need in a language you know. We take customer satisfaction seriously and don't take a cookie-cutter approach to your coverage. For more information, call 800-723-3276 or go to their website, in.farmbureau.com.
Quakers really their first time out. They've had a media timeout earlier today, but that is really the first time they have called a timeout. Earlham got off to a good start here today, but now, even in this third quarter, things have really slowed down, and we will head to the free throw line as Beth Schaefer, the senior out of Fort Wayne Carroll High School, will step to the free throw line with just over 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. And she'll complete the three-point play, and we said this earlier, if you're Manchester, you got to feel good that you're still within single digits.
Well, especially how you started the half. You come out, you've gotten turnovers. Earlham has only scored one basket this quarter. You've already had better efficiency on offense to start the second half than you had in the first half. So, yeah, if I'm Manchester, I like the spot right now.
Boy, Bowling missed another layup for the Quakers at the other end, and I think a lot of times they just take their eye off the basket. There's a three, and that's going to be good from the right wing by Bridget Nash, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point ball game.
And one thing that comes back is missed layups will come back to haunt you towards the end of the ball game.
And an 8-2 run here by Manchester to begin this third quarter as Earlham's offense has gone stagnant. McFarland back to Tonette. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Bowling entry pass. Zoe turns and gets it off the glass, and Quakers needed that basket.
Still on offense, they just still seem like very unorganized. And look on defense, she could have had a wide open three, but instead takes it to the basket. Nash gets the easy layup. But on a made basket, you can't have sluggish getting back, and we see Manchester took advantage of it right there.
Yeah, you got to get back, and boy, you're going to play another team somewhere down the road. Is Zoe inside again in the post-up, and now we're trading baskets. And I always think about that. I don't think so much, about this game, though I want to win this game, but also I'm going to play somebody better down the road that I'll have to do that against.
Exactly. you build habits with these kind of plays, and if you do it against a team that they didn't take advantage of it, you don't think too much of it. But you get a team that's fast and just constantly scores a lot of layups on you. Good pass.
Now Zoe running the floor, and again kind of lost. She had a really good angle that time to get back to the basket. She knows she takes one power dribble and takes it up. She might be a little more comfortable there.
On that, that's, again, we go back to gather yourself. I think sometimes she turns and she realizes I'm wide open and the basket's right here, that she kind of goes too fast.
Now, that's one thing that, again, for Zoe Jr., take that power dribble, get your body back in position and find a better angle. And she'll continue to learn that as she goes along in her basketball career here at Earlham. 17 on the shot clock off the inbound. Quick jumper good is Schaefer. Back to a 6-point ball game. We'll give Manchester credit here that to battle back, they've outscored the Quakers now 20-15 in the second and third quarters to get back into this ball game.
They found their offensive rhythm. Already in the first 5 minutes, they've outscored their total in the second quarter alone.
Cameron on the drive missed another layup for the Quakers, and they've got to be getting close to double digits and missed layups.
And those right now are coming back to haunt them with only a 6-point lead when it really should be more.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Manchester, the confidence and kind of feel the momentum really in their favor. Baseline drive and a whistle and a foul as Beth Schaefer going up against Earlham's Michaela McFarland, who will pick up the foul. McFarland's going to come out, and of course McFarland a little bit slowed because of that knee injury she suffered last year, sat out the entire year.
Knee injuries can be very tough to come back from.
And no matter how much you want to deny it, it will take a little bit of your speed away.
Oh, yeah.
Newhart in the ball game for Earlham, as we will see Zoe Curtis come out of the lineup, and a foul will be called against the Quakers' Kyra Joseph. Manchester making another change.
So far, what we've seen is Manchester has come out this third quarter and they picked up their play. Earlham has stayed the same. And sometimes when you have like a really good, successful first half, you get that complacency feeling that Manchester's not going to come out with another intensity level. But so far they have, and Earlham hasn't, and that's why Manchester has outplayed them so far in the second half.
Shot clock at 14 for Manchester. Ferris, and will be fouled and head to the free throw line. Now for the Quakers, and they'll have to pick something up here relatively quickly. You don't want to go into the fourth quarter really making this a ball game if you can. You want to put them away as early as you possibly can.
Well, right now, Manchester's already made it a ball game. And Earlham, since that first quarter, they just will not go back to that style. We've seen Zoe get a few layups, and that's what's so successful for them, but they're not consistently staying on that kind of play.
Well, they scored more points in the first quarter, speaking of Earlham, than they have in the last quarter and a half. Quaker basketball. There's another turnover. Boy, Bowling had a wide-open 15, 16-footer and bypassed that one as well, trying to force it inside.
That mid-ranger we talk about.
Yep. Gerard maybe between games will go down and maybe talk a little bit about that mid-range jumper.
Oh, I know all about that.
You can put on a little clinic. Hey, why drive all the way in if I can shoot it from 15, right?
If you're open, yeah.
That's right. Oh, nice pass. It's a 2-point ball game for Manchester.
Right now, Earlham cannot stop Manchester. Manchester has come out with an entirely new focus, and Earlham hasn't responded to Manchester.
Yeah.
They're staying with that same level of play.
Hannah Smith was the one who hit that last shot. Kyra Joseph on the drive. Smith tried to take the charge, and Manchester turns it over. Manchester's fans right behind their bench didn't agree with that call. Quakers are going to come back with Zoe, by the way, and also coming back in will be Bowling. but not until we have a timeout on the floor. I don't know if this is a media timeout. I believe it would be at 3:30, the first dead ball that you have here under the 5-minute mark. We'll take a break as well on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Earlham leading it by 2.
Today's game is being brought to you by Tri-County Awards in Richmond. Customized awards and quality engraving services. When you come to Tri-County Awards, you'll get nothing but the best customer service. We take pride in our prompt service and easy availability. Celebrate success with a gorgeous medal, trophy, or plaque from Tri-County Awards. We've been crafting awards since 1972. Choose from a wide variety of designs and styles. We're a locally owned and family-operated business. Tri-County Awards, 1001 Southeast Street in Richmond.
Hey, just a reminder, as we're back here at the Athletics and Wellness Center, when you're visiting the Richmond area, there is one clear place to stay. It's the Best Western Classic. At the Best Western Classic of Richmond, you get the most amenities available, including indoor pool, fitness center, conference space, free buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, a clean, quiet, comfortable room. Best Western Classic of Richmond, 533 West Eaton Pike. And yeah, if you just came back and you thought the Quakers were blowing Manchester out early, well, guess what? The Spartans have come back. They have tied this ball, I should say, come back to within 2, nearly tying the ball game with this last possession, but then they gave the basketball back to the Quakers.
With just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, Manchester is 2 points away from matching their first half total in points in just the third quarter alone.
It's been an interesting game here today in this HCAC contest as Manchester trying to get their first win. The Quakers trying to go to 2-1. Earlham back to that passing game as they're looking inside to Zoe. Still 13 on the shot clock. Tanette has not really shot the ball a whole lot today. Just one shot from the Quaker guard. Here's White. Joseph fires and misses long, just ahead of the shot clock. Now Manchester a chance to tie.
Well, we've seen the big adjustment from Manchester at the half. They're saying you other four beat us. They have committed to shutting down Zoe. Every time she posts up, excuse me, that's why the guards can't get it into her on the post, because the backside has two Manchester defenders and 2 Manchester defenders right behind her. So Manchester's adjustment at halftime, just like I said, it would be to shut down Zoe Curtis and make the other 4 beat us.
By the way, Zoe was the one who was running the floor, but a careless turnover there by Manchester. And now the Quakers lead it by 4, and there's another turnover. And immediately 4 points on the board for the Quakers and a timeout on the floor. Boy, Manchester had a chance to tie. They missed a layup on their end, and the Quakers get 2 steals, and just like that, it is now a 6-point ball game. On the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, Quakers 40, Manchester 34.
Mendenhall's True Value in Richmond is your local source for the things you need at home or your business every day. Everything from hardware, tools, carpet cleaner rentals, window and screen repair, lawn and garden supplies, as well as hunting and fishing licenses. It's all in one place at Mendenhall's True Value Hardware, right around the corner at 125 Southwest 5th Street in Richmond. Give them a call for more information at 962-4842.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you were born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
You talk about a momentum killer that time for Manchester. Back-to-back turnovers off inbound passes. And Earlham able to convert, and they end up getting 2 straight baskets within maybe just 3 or 4 seconds. And that ball knocked out of bounds again as Earlham's now press defense starting to pay some dividends.
Now, Troy, maybe you can correct me on this, but unless they don't do it for women, if you have a made basket, you can run the sidelines, right?
Yes.
Why we never see people do that off made baskets, unless it's nullified off a timeout, which I don't believe it is.
I don't know, it's not.
We never see them run the sidelines to get a much easier pass.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Basketball IQ, I believe, is what a lot of us would refer it to be. Yeah. Yeah, that's an easy.
Yeah. Off a made basket, you are allowed to run the baseline to get the pass in, but yet they stay there and try to force the tough passes.
Well, the other thing you can do, you'd always ask. You know, the official will let you know if you just ask him, hey, can I run? But you got to be willing to do so. So the Quakers, again, holding on to a 6-point lead here as we're under the 2-minute mark in the third quarter. And a really bad shot that time by Ferris as the shot clock went off, but we've got a foul first against Manchester.
Foul will be on Ferris.
Well, you look at those two possessions. You go back, Ferris missed the easy shot. Three possessions. He misses the layup. You come back, Quakers score. They get a turnover, they score. They get a turnover, they score. And that's why you're where you're at right now, where momentum all of a sudden shifting right back to Earlham.
Exactly. But if I'm Manchester, we've been playing really good half-court defense the second half. So I'm a little upset at our team right now, but I still have confidence because they haven't really scored on us in the second half just with half-court offense alone. So if we just take care of the ball, we'll be right back in this game.
Quakers running it down to 5. Bowling stops and misses. So Earlham, one and done on that possession. Manchester trying to run as well. Here's a 3 from the top, and that'll be short. Biegler can't get it to fall as Earlham back the other way. Spears driving, and another turnover by the Quakers. Yeah, pull up and shoot that thing. I think I'd be doing a lot of pull-up drills and shooting in practice.
Yes.
Quakers trying to force it inside.
Yeah, so many opportunities for a mid-range jump shot.
Back the other way. That floater is no good as Bridget Nash can't get it to fall. So now all of a sudden both teams going cold again. Quakers, by the way, shooting under 30% now in this ball game. They got off to a very fast start.
Manchester has surpassed Earlham in the shooting percentage department.
That's why this game's kind of hard to figure out.
Exactly.
It has not been the prettiest of games so far. Tanette now fires and banks it, misses. She's not shot very much tonight, as we said, so now Manchester has a chance for the final bucket here in the third. Nash all the way in the corner, hands it off now to Ferris, and a turnover as time runs out in the third. With nothing decided yet, though the Quakers got something going at the end of this quarter. We will take a quick timeout. The perhaps final 10 minutes of this one coming up in just a few moments. Stay right there. This is Earlham Women's Basketball on Radio Troy Digital Sport.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we play. At West End Bank, we're not just in the community, we're a part of the community. And that's why we support over 100 programs for local nonprofits and schools, including our financial literacy program that positively impacts countless students throughout the area. You bank locally, so we give back locally to watch people grow with endless possibilities.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Now Quakers trying to pick up win number 2 in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Manchester trying to pick up their first win in conference play, and Gerard now has all the action here in the fourth.
Earlham will start the fourth quarter with the ball, 6-point lead. Acacia sets up Earlham's offense. Bowling drives baseline, runs into 3 people. A good cross-court pass, good extra pass, and an air ball by Cameron White, and the ball goes out of bounds back to Manchester.
I'm trying to think the last time that Cameron shot the ball from that deep, too. She generally is a driver.
And almost another turnover for Manchester off the inbound pass. And it's not just Manchester we've seen, Troy. I've seen multiple teams have troubles trying to get the ball in against this Earlham press.
Well, and again, when you watch other teams, how often are they coming to the basketball or setting screens to get somebody free? A lot of times they just try to, I think, freewheel it and see what happens. And you can't do that against good pressing teams.
Good offensive possession by Manchester. Basket by Alexis Graham. 40-36. Earlham, just a little over 9 minutes to go in the ball game. Good pass by Keisha Tennette. A foul on Manchester. Zoe Curtis will go to the free throw line.
Still love to see a power dribble and get yourself composed, get your shoulders square to the basket. I think she would certainly miss less layups that way and chance for a 3-point play instead of just 2.
Exactly.
Or 1.
And that would be a big thing to if I'm a coach, when I'm telling Zoe what we're going to work on in the offseason is finishing through contact.
Yeah.
And try to create scenarios to where she's going a little bit too fast for herself so she can learn how to gather herself, power dribble, go up. 1 free throw, good by Zoe. 5-point lead for the Earlham Quakers. Manchester still struggling with that press. But
you saw they're playing 3-on-3 instead of bringing a big up and maybe helping a little bit of an outlet at the middle of the floor.
And just going to the ball. They keep going away from the ball. 3-point shot by Manchester. Off the mark. Rebound by Bowling. And she will slow down the fast break. Earlham will set up their half-court offense. They look to Zoe. Does a cross-court pass to Bowling. She will take the 3, and she will airball it. Rebound by Manchester. That's another case where she didn't really set herself up.
Yeah, trying to shoot it too fast.
Yep.
And really, there's no reason to do so. There was nobody coming to block her shot. There was not even anyone around her.
Well, good shooters, all you have to do is set yourself up, and if you just get a little bit of space, it doesn't matter who's around you. 3-point shot by Shepard. She will be fouled by Zoe Curtis on the 3-point shot. And those are the worst kind of fouls that you can have.
Yeah, coaches hate that too. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the other end. If you notice when Zoe was posting up down low and Acacia was on the outside to our near side, and the person who was guarding to net, as that free throw is good, Faith Alexis Graham. Here's what I'm going to do with her because Tannette has not shot a lot. I'm doubling down against Zoe. That way I don't have to bring anybody from the backside to try to help defend her. But she didn't do that. She stayed with her, and I'm kind of wondering why she did that instead of helping out.
Well, coaches can play that very different ways. When I played at junior college, my coach would tell me if your man passed it to the post, you face guard that person and not let her throw the ball back out. So I get what that coach is doing, but I do agree personnel-wise, know your personnel. Knowing that Acacia hasn't shot the ball today, yes, I would bring my man down and have her help on Zoe instead of giving up backside.
Yeah, not only has she only shot twice and made either one of them.
Yes, because I'd rather have Acacia shooting that 3 than Bowling in today's game.
Exactly.
Because in Acacia's case, when you haven't shot the ball at all today, you don't really have a rhythm in offense. But Bowling, who's hit a couple of shots, got a little more confidence in it. You wouldn't want her shooting the ball. Another missed layup by Zoe Curtis, rebound Manchester. And like we said, those missed layups starting to come back and bite you.
Yeah. And it also becomes a mental thing sometimes, too.
Yes.
By the way, that last foul, Macy Miller now has 4 for Manchester. She's on the bench. They'll try to buy her some time.
Manchester. Another turnover. I can't really tell. Yep, turnover by Earlham. Acacia full court pass to Zoe. Another missed layup, gets her own rebound, and this time makes it.
Well, she did the power dribble that time, just didn't finish.
Yes, and it was a lot better shot than when we seen when she forces it up.
Exactly.
And as we see a jump ball, and going back to that last possession, exactly. You know, she gathered herself, did an up and under, got a much better shot, just has to finish it. Luckily, she got her own rebound and was able to finish it.
Well, the Quakers only shooting at 28%, and I still would have never guessed that.
Steal by Kayla Bowling, and a layup is good. 8-point lead for the Quakers, 45-37, with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And once again, bad pass off an inbound play.
Well, Manchester, those 3 turnovers have cost them 6 points here in the second half.
Missed layup by Alexis Graham, and in Manchester's case, missed layups critical at this point in the ball game when you're trying to get back into it.
Well, there are teams that are struggling. There's Zoe again.
Now, that was a very strong post-up and a very good pass right there.
Well, what she was able to do, pin her guy off and shove her out to the outside. You got to use that body once in a while to get some spacing.
And she used it very well, not in a really too aggressive way to get the offensive foul. Another steal by Kayla Bowling, and she will take it all the way, and one. She makes the layup, converts the and one, and she will go to the free throw line for a free throw.
Well, you look at how much this game has changed. Go back to when the game was 34-30, and Manchester had a chance to make it 34-32. They turned the ball over, and that's where this really has all kind of led now back to a 12-point lead.
Couple of key steals by Bowling has allowed Earlham to extend the lead. But what Manchester has struggled with this second half is inbound passing.
Yeah.
And it has to do with, like you said, Troy, they're not going towards the ball. They're going away from it. They're not throwing it where the player will be going. They're throwing it to where they're at. So easy tip passes. And Bowling converts the free throw. 50-37, 6 minutes to go in the ball game. And Earlham staying in that full court press, and Manchester is able to break it. Block shot on Alexis Graham, but rebound by Schaefer, but she misses the layup. And Acacia Tennette, full court pass to White, and she turns it over. Alexis Graham for Manchester, using her speed. Good dump off pass. And layup is good by Ferris. Going back to that possession, we see a timeout by Earlham. 5:32 left in the ball game, 50-39. Brought to you by Wesley Bates Scoreboard Management, and we will take a break.
Big Boys Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boys Pizza. 765-488-0023. Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top-flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information.
Well, you may not believe it, but just moments ago, this was again a 2-point ball game. We had talked about after that break that, you know, if you tuned in, this game ended up being down to 2, but all of a sudden it's now 11.
Well, a couple of costly turnovers for Manchester that led to easy layups by Earlham, and then Manchester has also missed 3 or 4 easy layups this fourth quarter, and you add that up, league can easily get away from you. Earlham setting up their half-court offense. That's perfect. Cameron White at the top. That same play to Zoe, and she will convert the layup. 13-point ball game for Earlham. And Earlham has really been successful off that one play.
Yeah, and the one thing about it is if you're the post players for Manchester, you can't let Zoe set up that low and let her receive it that deep into the paint.
Well, and it's going back to, as we see a foul on Kyra for Earlham, but it goes back to IQ. If you're a defender playing Zoe, Earlham has been running that same play the whole game. And so when we see the ball goes to one side, back to the other, we know that she's going to do that push-off to get her space. You have got to understand that. And as we see a three-pointer by Manchester hit off the side of the backboard, rebound by Earlham. Kyra with the drive, thought about shooting it, but holds it back out. Looking to go back to number 43, Zoe. Brought the double team. She hits Cameron White, and White gets blocked. Maddie Meinhardt with the block, and it also goes off Cameron White. Ball goes back to Manchester.
Catch and shoot.
Yes.
Just catch and shoot.
Everybody loves to catch and dribble. And a foul called on Earlham. I'm thinking it's going to be Zoe Curtis with the foul. Actually, no, he calls Kayla Bowling with the foul.
You know, I'm not so sure. You see Cameron right there. She's kind of holding that left hand. I don't know if she hurt that falling to the floor, but you see how she's kind of favored. She already has a finger or two taped there, but now she's kind of holding on to that left hand.
Well, we hope it's nothing serious. And you said it right, she's still gripping that hand. We'll see if it affects her while she's dribbling the ball.
Well, the good news is she's a right-handed shooter, though.
True.
Still, but you got to dribble every once in a while with the left. You know.
Oh, yeah, both hands are major important in basketball. Earlham setting up their half-court offense. Kyra driving baseline, tries to find Curtis, but she finds the double team, and timeout Earlham. 4 minutes to go in the ball game, 52-40, brought to you by the Wesley-based Wealth Management Scoreboard, and we will be back.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Good news about that timeout for the Quakers. You still have 2 timeouts remaining, but you don't want to lose a possession as we're past the halfway point here in the fourth quarter.
They go right back to Zoe Curtis, and she finishes the layup. I don't know if you have a charger for that.
I'm going to have to find one, huh?
Zoe Curtis with another layup. She has regrouped herself and was able to finish the last 4 or 5 layups she's taken. Another missed layup by Manchester. Cameron White with the rebound and slows it up, waits for Zoe to set up. But this time Zoe gets fouled on the entry pass by Nash for Manchester. And Manchester not in the bonus yet. Earlham will have it out of bounds. Curtis with a game-high 26 with still a little over 3.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Nearly a 5-second violation for the Quakers, but they are able to get it in. Kayla Bowling at the top. He travels with the basketball. Another turnover for the Quakers. Ball back to Manchester. Still Earlham with a 14-point lead, 54-40, with just under 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Manchester brings it up, setting up their half-court offense. Tough pass for Manchester. Three-point shot by Ferris. It is off the mark. And a collision with Bowling and Graham, but Manchester gets the ball back. Ferris dribbles it off her foot. Cameron White tries to get it to Bowling, but she turns it over. And Maddie Meinhardt will go to the free throw line. Foul on Earlham, number 34, Kyra Joseph, and Meinhardt will shoot 2.
So what I missed while I was gone?
Just a couple of sloppy turnovers.
You look at Manchester, no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes.
And then 1 for 8 in their last field goals attempted. And then Meinhardt misses the first free throw. And, you said it right, Troy. Halfway through the third quarter, Manchester had the momentum. They were only down 2. And now everything just went sideways for Manchester.
And look at that number there.
And all layups.
Yeah, 6 of 7 for the Quakers in shooting, and yet Manchester not scoring a basket in the last 2.5 minutes.
Zoe has 4 or 5 of those last field goals.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe, by the way, now 26 points. And we've got, another timeout?
Yep, by Manchester. I think it's just a 30-second timeout.
We'll take a break as well. This is Earlham Basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shearer.
3:05 remaining again here in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, when we're done here, we'll take a quick break, and then, of course, men's basketball coming up as well.
Manchester comes out in a full-court press. Earlham beats it. Offensive foul on Zoe Curtis. Ref saying she held her defender while trying to post up, and that will be Zoe's 3rd foul, I believe. Wait for the scoreboard to come up. 3rd foul on Zoe Curtis. Manchester brings it up. 3-point shot off the mark. Rebound by Zoe.
Right now, at least for me, it's a matter of taking care of the basketball. You're down by 13. When you're up by 13, if you're Earlham, you really don't need to do much here the rest of the way. You can use a lot of clock, look for layups, try to get backdoor cuts, and just run this thing out.
Just keep running the same offense that you've been running this quarter. Back and forth passes, trying to get the inside paint zone touches. And no need, as you said, Troy, to rush anything. You're up 13, 2.5 minutes. Biggest thing is taking care of the basketball. And with each possession, run a little clock out.
Yep, that'll do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Quakers get a win here today. They'll stay in the upper bracket of things in the HCAC, 2-1. Better start than what they had last year when they had to fight in the second half to get one of the final spots in the tournament.
Manchester, Alexis Graham takes it full court but misses the layup. And I'm willing to bet that Manchester has multiple or double-digit missed layups.
And White will get one more now with a 16-point lead.
White hits the second free throw, 17-point ball game. Just under 2.5 minutes to go. Alexis Graham brings it up for Manchester. Schaefer with the layup. It is off, but she is fouled by Zoe Curtis, and that will be Zoe's 4th foul. And Schaefer will go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
Well, Earlham wins this today. As we said, they'll move to 3-4. They got off to a slow start. They lost their first 3 games. They're starting to click a little bit better, though they did lose at Bluffton. You still have a non-conference game against Center on the road, so another tune-up before you play again next week. So the good news is your focus this entire week will be on Mount St. Joseph. I know you play Center, but that one doesn't really matter too much. You want to think about next weekend.
You want to use what you want to use against Mount St. Joe, you want to use against Setter. Setter is obviously a team you don't look over them. It's another opponent you got to play. But Manchester is actually in your conference, and that's the more important game. So you use that game to get ready for Manchester. And Earlham will get called for the 10-second violation. Another turnover. Ball will go back to Manchester. Earlham up 58-42 with just under 2 minutes to go in the ball game.
And when you look at a game like that against a Mount St. Joseph, depending on, again, what they do in their next couple of games, it's one of those teams in that upper echelon that you've got to learn how to beat now.
Exactly. Those type of games, you need a signature win against one of the better teams in the conference to really make a statement to the conference that we ain't just a bunch of pretenders.
Quakers got to quit fouling here at the end. If you're looking at Manchester's side, though, it looks bleak at 16 down. Then you can put points on the board with the clock off, and that's exactly the kind of formula they want to try to get back, though it's highly unlikely at this stage because they just don't score enough.
They don't, but I have also seen some crazy comebacks in my lifetime. So
you mean like in this one here in that second and third quarter? Yeah.
So, Earlham needs to stop stopping the clock with turnovers and fouls.
And quit getting double teamed in the corner.
That as well. Corner is the dead spot with the trap, with the full court press. Caleb Bowling with the floater. It is good. 60-44. 1:35 to go in the ball game. Alexis Graham will take it up, but a jump ball. And the possession arrow is in Earlham's favor, so the ball will go to Earlham.
Boy, Curtis 26, Bowling 21. You had a two-headed monster today from a scoring standpoint, and they both are 18 of 33 shooting.
Yep. Kyra with the layup. Kyra Joseph off the easy press break by Earlham. Now an 18-point ball game. Ferris will take a 3.
Yeah, this one's over.
Yep. Out of bounds off the rebound. Ball goes back to Earlham, and as we see, Earlham will empty its bench, bring in some of the freshmen and the players who don't really see that much game action.
Yeah, Meadows will come in. Also coming in will be Shea Stanley. Who else came into the ball game? Number 3, which is Maya Payne.
Yep. And Payne isn't shy about getting her first game contact in. She picks up the foul, and Nash will go to the free throw line.
The reason you do that, you don't want your score sheet just to say that you got in. You got to have one of these numbers in these columns over here.
But you want one of the positive sides.
Well.
As Nash misses the first free throw.
Well, Earlham's going to have some consistency issues to work on, which when you look at the roller coaster ride you've been on and you look at the games they played of late, they have enough veterans on this team that they really shouldn't be playing that kind of basketball right now.
Well, they were just lucky that Manchester wasn't the type of team to take advantage of the sloppy play that Earlham had in the second quarter and throughout most of the third quarter as well. But the better teams in the conference, like you said, Mount St. Joe, Rose-Hulman, those are the type of teams to where if you have those kind of lapses, the game can get away from you.
Yeah, when you look at those games, there's Mount St. Joe the 15th, and then, of course, after the holiday break, things really get busy in January. You're going to open up after the break against Transylvania here at home.
Yeah, and Transylvania has a 5-1 overall record. So if you play inconsistent against Transylvania, the game can get ugly.
Yeah, they can really make you pay for mistakes. And you look at a team that maybe doesn't have the same margin of error You can't really afford to do those kind of things in those games. So that's something they'll clean up.
And that's what these games against Setter and the games you don't have against non-conference opponents between conference games, those are the games that you really work on consistency and the trying those pull-up jump shots we always talk about, even though we never see them. But
well, the other number was better, was that one right there, the 16 turnovers, which is much better than the, 30 or 29 they had against last time we hear against the St. Mary of the Woods. So that number's better, though that kind of game can kind of draw you in there.
But the biggest, not going to say shocker, but the 18 offensive rebounds that they had today. And in practice, I'd work on offensive rebounds and second chance points because 18 old boys, but only 6 second chance points. You'd like to have a little bit of a better stat number in that category, but they did a really good job of points off turnovers, 30 points off Manchester turnovers. And Nash will hit the layup, 64-46 with 20 seconds to go in the ball game. Earlham just needs to get it past half court and can dribble it out, or they'll pass to Newhart and they'll hit the layup. But Coach Meadow for Earlham quickly apologizes to Manchester, saying that we didn't want that.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it right there.
And Earlham will dribble the clock out, and they will beat Manchester 66-46.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout, finish this one up as the Quakers pick up a home victory here this afternoon. We'll give you the final numbers in a moment right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com.
All right, let's go and give you the final numbers in the first game. We won't go through everything. The Quakers ended up shooting 37%. Manchester shot 30%. The Quakers were led in scoring by Zoe Curtis with 26, Kayla Bowling with 21. Ferris led the way for Manchester with 11 points. Graham finished with 8, and Nash with 7. So, again, all those stats are on GoEarlham.com if you want to check those out at your convenience. But the Quakers now with the victory here today. They improved to 2-1 in conference play. They're now 3-4 overall. The next time we'll be back here will be on December 15th when the Quakers take on Mount St. Joe. That will be a 3 o'clock start time, and we'll have it for you right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Your final score once again, Earlham 66, Manchester 66. We'll take a quick break. Men's basketball coming up in about 25 minutes. All the action right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.